This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, March 23rd, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. Toyota is planning to invest $200 million in its manufacturing plant in Princeton, the automaker announced today. The investment will be used to increase production capacity for the Grand Highlander SUV, though it was not immediately clear if any new jobs would be created as a result. The funding is part of an overall $1 billion investment in Toyota's Indiana and Kentucky operations. The remaining $800 million will be used to prepare the Kentucky plant for the automaker's second battery electric vehicle, as well as boost production capacity for the Camry and RAV4, which are produced there. Connersville residents will soon see the city's new Reid Health campus open its doors after 2 years of construction. The Richmond-based health system said the $100 million state-of-the-art healthcare facility is expected to begin serving patients beginning April 8th. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission will kick off a series of listening sessions to hear from utility customers throughout the state on the topic of energy affordability. The sessions, which begin this week, will follow an all-day investigative inquiry with Indiana's 5 largest investor-owned utility companies scheduled for Tuesday. You can view the list of sessions at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
One of the last bills signed by Governor Mike Braun from this year's legislative session sets the stage for more haggling in 2027 over the funding for local governments. IIB's Aubriana Herron has more.
A wide-ranging bill on numerous state and local tax matters, approved by legislators last month, includes provisions for a 1-year delay on planned major changes to local income taxes, and orders a new report on how cities and counties could share that tax revenue. The revamp of the local income tax system was a key part of Senate-enrolled Act 1 during the 2025 session as legislators and Braun sought to cut residential property taxes. Those local income tax changes were to take effect in 2028, but are now being delayed until 2029 as they get a new look. The plan approved in 2025 included capping total local income tax rates for all counties at 2.9%, down from 3.75%. Cities and larger towns would be allowed to impose rates up to 1.2% within that county total, a power they have not had before. Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, the organization representing Indiana cities and towns, projected that nearly half of municipalities larger than 3,500 people would see cuts to their potential local income tax revenue from the changes. Those include 45% reductions in Crawfordsville, which would drop about $3 million in revenue, and Clarksville, which would see a nearly $4.5 million decrease. This year's House Bill 1210 allows counties to establish a municipal unit strategic task force with county and municipal representatives to negotiate an agreement on how they would distribute local income taxes in the future. Those agreements will be compiled by the state's Department of Local Government Finance for a report to legislative leaders by December 1st. This year's bill, which Braun signed into law on March 12th, also calls for a legislative study committee to further review property tax deductions and exemptions ahead of the 2027 session. Aubriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Simon Property Group's CEO and chairman David Simon has died following a battle with cancer. He was 64. The son of company co-founder Melvin Simon and nephew of co-founder Herb Simon, David Simon built the company into the nation's largest shopping mall owner with an emphasis on upscale properties such as the Fashion Mall at Keystone in Indianapolis. His son, Eli Simon, will take over as CEO and president and will continue in his role as chief operating officer and director. He was named COO in August. Indianapolis International Airport officials estimate about 620,000 passengers could pass through the airport during the busy spring break travel season. But many eyes are also on what the partial government shutdown could mean as travelers go through the terminal, with TSA employees being affected. Airport Executive Director Mario Rodriguez.
I don't think you're going to see nightmare stories here, and you're not seeing it right now. We're working very closely with our TSA partners. We're making sure that they know we're supporting them. We have people embedded there to assist them. We also are donating money to buy them grocery cards and also gas cards. And also we're feeding them lunch every week or so. I hope it does work its way out, but we're ready. Much more so than any other facility at this time.
On Sunday, President Trump announced that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers would be brought in to assist TSA workers starting today, though it was not immediately clear if the Indianapolis airport is included in that plan. IU Columbus finance professor Ryan Brewer is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.